Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Tuman Municipal Planning Council regular monthly meeting. Today is Thursday, June 5th. The time is now 6:33 p.m. and we call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Makimoto. Brown. Here. Camacho. Sill. Here. Chakras. Here. Guerrero. Here. Assisti. Lascimosa.
Here.
Banabusa.
Here.
No. Harris. Here. Puntalon. Tideway.
Here.
Tinside here. Mayor's here. Vice Mayor's here. We have 13 form.
Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary Tinside. I'd like to ask everyone to please rise for the recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance at the end of the
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Kinamaskalo kinasoko, nagmastakalo iporosoko, sa namaskigo na nasinako, to ofrecer mais Brazil para proteger, sa defender, ipinemi, cultura, linguagem, ai, hano, dalicados Chamorro, ni iresoko, ireso, inesco, sata. Assim, o afirma que o Bíblia, se determinado, e maneira guapan.
Thank you very much for being here with us today. Today we also have Mr. Trevor Natoiwi with the Guam Youth Congress. We have members of our Guam Police Department, Tumani Precinct, Sergeant Pickinger and Chief Marquez. We also have our sister military command represented. And so we'll go ahead and move along with the meeting. Welcome everyone. We also have members of the public present. So moving along with the agenda, we have the approval of minutes of our last meeting of May 8th, 2025. It is attached to your agenda, part of your packet. I hope you were all able to review it. And then we can get a motion to approve the minutes of May 8th.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve the minutes of May 8th, 2025.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chakras.
Second.
Okay, and it was seconded by Roseanne Lastimosa. Any discussion? Okay, there being none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And does anyone oppose? None, thank you very much. Now we'll move along to our youth congress report, by Mr. Trevor Natoiwi.
Good afternoon, everyone. For our report, we have our tentative session date, which is June 21st. We are still in communications with Costulas to host a food drive and a toiletry drive at the Tumani Costulas location. I am also still recruiting members for the Student Action Council, both public and private high school students. I am also still working with the Delito representatives on our bill for appropriate funding for safety barriers for every to get safety barriers for every school bus stops in every village. I have gotten into contact with DPW to get a listing of all the school bus stops on Guam in every village. And I have also contacted Rocky to get a price quote on the safety barriers. That's so far what we have. And other than that, that concludes our report. And I'd like to just wish, and I'd just like to wish everyone, every graduate of the class 2025, congratulations on behalf of the Guam Congress. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Choi. Does any council members have any questions for our youth Congress representative? Yes, Rosanna.
I to commend for his proposal for the bus barriers. I didn't know we needed. A lot of these bus stops are different from when I was younger, where there's a wall. And I think these barriers will keep the kids safe. So I appreciate it, and I thank you for that.
Of course, no problem.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, there being none, thank you very much, Sharon. We'll move along now. To our too many precincts, the command report.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members. To my left, you see Sergeant this weekend, Renata, Sergeant Liz, recently transferred to our community precinct as our operations sergeant. And trust me, we have an active operations sergeant here that will take care of business. So, thank you for giving us the opportunity, Mayor. Update on the recent issues that we discussed in the last meeting. Unfortunately, we had a shooting the other day over at GPO. We all know that was in the news, and it's unfortunate that happened. I can't comment too much on it because the suspect, the case is under further investigation. Other than, we had a big and tremendous tragedy. Just as a precaution that, a good example of how anything can happen anywhere. We don't expect something like this in the whole parking lot. And to that number of shots fired, anybody else was not hurt. So just be aware of your surroundings. On the graffiti issue, thank you, Lord, we did make an arrest. The guy that's going around doing that POSD already, graffiti, got the suspect on that. We're still investigating further and hope to get more. On the issue with the noise coming from the mini trucks, we made an arrest on the main responsible person. Thanks for some of the help from the community here. We did our thing. Yeah, taking out the noise and speeding around the neighborhood. So obviously slowing down. And we got some good counseling from the officers at the same time. We had a burglary arrest at Fair Cake, 8 cases in the 20 area. And so we're trying our very best to deal with this issue. And please continue to give us your input and your support with these kind of cases. We got to work as a team. Other than that, we're doing our best. We're going to be very busy this month throughout the summer, right here. As you know that there's a lot of activities and events coming up. We get it on a daily basis, requests for security, requests to be there. So we're stretching, we're trying our best to accommodate every request. Okay, thank you so much, and happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcos. Any questions for our committee precinct from command? Yes, Mr. Giselle?
Not a question, Chief, but
Sure.
thanks for the quietness, my street over there,
Yes, sir.
that noise goes in and out of our street.
Yes.
It calmed down fast.
Oh, you're
What
welcome.
we did.
You're welcome. Yeah, concerning the order, by the way, we made an arrest on a burglary in progress. Yeah. So this guy claims that it's an open house for the homeless. But it's a home of one of our members that's being renovated. So he answered twice, he called it the third time, so It's up to the court to decide what to do with all these people. Thank you. Thanks for your response.
Any other questions? Okay, there being none, we'll go ahead and move along now to the mayor and vice mayor's report. Vice Mayor, go ahead and start with you.
Okay. The only thing that I have going around right now is just some of the residents that I have approached or have approached me. A large concern of abandoned areas or areas that are not being used and being housed by homeless. In other words, they're homeless or homestaying in private properties. And one of the private properties that we're having problems dealing with, I have the gentleman that stays next to that property and his wife present on our meeting here tonight with concerns of what's going on over there in that vacant lot. The thing about it is I've seen pictures and I drove by there already, and I've seen vehicles. Matter of fact, just as before noon today, the young lady was saying, that stays right at the two-story house, was saying that they brought a car over to that area, took out the license plates, and left the car there. So, you know, we're having problems like that all over the island, especially in our municipality. We're trying to cut it down. The main thing is trying to find the owners of these vacant lots. But for some reason, we're having no luck on identifying who owns the property because the property owners are fighting. Now, the thing about it is we need to see what we can do by law on handling situations like this. The individuals that I'm talking about that stays over Barron Street, which is in the village, it's a dead-end street. And on the dead end, there's a house there. The house is occupied by our visitors here with kids. Now, if any of us have kids and we have surroundings like that going on, we know that something's going to happen. And we try to take care of it before it escalates. And the only thing that we can do is we need to step up and see what issues or what avenue we need to take. Okay? The gentleman and the wife that I'm talking about is Mr. Phillips back here in the corner with his wife. Later on today, or even after this meeting, I would like the gentleman and his wife to keep me about what's going on over there. And like I said, it's not only that one area. There's other areas that is here in our municipality that we have to try correcting before it escalates any higher. And believe me, those encampments are really getting big. Now, if they can do it with the one across Micronesia Mall and keep it cleared out, then why can't we do it in our own municipality, our own area? We just need to get the right people, the right person, and the law behind it, and make sure things happen on what needs to happen. And that's basically keeping the neighborhood safe. Like I said, if you guys have kids and you stay in areas like that, or close by areas like that, you guys will be in our office, or even here in our meeting, addressing the problems of what you're having. Addressing the concerns of the safety of your family. And that's where we stand. I can speak for every one of us, that we stand on taking care and keeping our neighborhood, our family, our outside family, all safe. So with that, please, be very vigilant with what's happening out there in the community. Anything you see, do something about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor. I'm sorry, go ahead and backtrack now to our sister military command, Ms. Therese Marilla, for, any update, what's happening inside base and stuff that, I know we just had a change of command that, Vice Mayor had spoken about at the last meeting. Can you, give us a report on that, please?
As of right now, I don't have anything new to report. I do believe there was, invitations sent out to specific people, and that's about it.
Thank you very much. Does any council members have any questions for, Ms. Teresa Murillo? There being none, I'll go ahead and go back to, our report, in regards to, the mayor and vice mayor's report. Vice Mayor was, again, is reporting about encampment that's going on, and, we know of, residents that are affected in the area. We do have, these issues ongoing in so many different areas. People are just moving in anywhere, anywhere that they can find abandoned buildings, bushes, things like that. There was an encampment too that was just cleared from behind Domino's and Denny's in Timony. There's, again, we see like walls going up in front of the polyclinic because of squatting going on there. Now they're out in the bus stops as well, from the ones that were staying inside the polyclinic. They're out by the bus stops and they're going all up and down Epal Road. There's different sites. We have one also behind KFC. And a lot of the videos that we forward to our precinct, our command, are, these people walking around late at night, just violating people's private property and their peace. And it's worried that we're seeing, we don't know how they're going to react or what they're going to do. But, we try to assist those that need help. Some of them just refuse. We see a lot of them so able-bodied, walking, and they're able to hold outside to try to collect money out there, but they just don't want to get a job and, pay rent, to go live. So these are many different things we're facing. And I know that the Attorney General's office was one of them that really helped move us to get that area clear across the mall. And we've been reaching out for help with everyone, the Homeless Coalition, Governor's Office, different groups to help these individuals so that they don't go squatting anywhere. A lot of them are having their challenges with mental and psychological issues. And we tell them, it's not right to be there without the permission of going on people's private property. But they continue to do that. They hook up, move away from one area and go to another. So, this is a great concern for all of us. And I have also been working with the Department of Land Management in regards to these properties, trying to find ways to get a hold of the owners to protect the area, to either barricade it or, to let them know the situation and what's going on. A lot of them happen to be off island. And so, sometimes it's hard to get a hold of them. But, we're doing the best we can, and then also working with the different agencies in regards to these people.
So again, if you have any solutions or answers that can, help, please do not hold back and let us know, what we can do to make our community better, safer, more peaceful. And then, in regards to abandoned vehicles, oh my goodness, traveling on in broad daylight. People are moving it from one place to the other, and so that's, again, please call that in right away if you're seeing something like that. Even with, trucks of tires, going into, I just got a video on, a truck full of tires with a Goodyear vehicle going into Harmon Cliff Line and then coming out empty. What do you suppose they did with that? And then, even with a shooting range up in Harmon Cliff Line, does anyone know about that? Was there any permits issued? So that went to GPD as well, and, they're looking into that, because, I'm getting videos of the shooting that's going on, the noise. And so these are all different things we're facing, and so we won't know about it, we can't be everywhere at once, and so we always appreciate all of you in the community for working together, especially when you're out there, you're seeing something, please report it in right away. If not to GPD, but we always say call GPD first, make sure you report it in, and then, put it out in the chat so everybody's aware. With me, I always want to vet it, and then so I call GPD, or I'm part of their command chat, so that we can check if indeed it's true. But this morning also, we got a video that a vehicle was stolen from Menango Park, right in the parking lot this morning. Right away, I sent it to Lieutenant Charfus, he responded, they caught that person, the car's back, so. We need to know right away what's going on. And then as for the shooting that happened at Jupil, I was very concerned. Of course, we have our operations here, we have the center being used, we have, all our different groups around, our facilities. A lot of the children, our cultural dance groups, the basketball players in the gym, the tennis courts, it's always full. And so right away when we saw that, of course, I'm worried, I'm checking the staff, what's going on, are you seeing, anything are they running from our compound? How close is it, what's going on? And so, of course, with all the businesses around, at that time when it happened, it was already after 10 o'clock when I was notified. I know that Lone Star is still open, Kings is still open, there's Plaza Market down there is still open. I already told the staff to secure our facilities, but, so they didn't see anything because they already secured. But, I wanted to know, are we supposed to go and lock down, or, what are we supposed to do? So, again, I'm reaching out, I don't want to bother them because I know GP is busy, but we need to know, is an active shooter still out there? What happened? I mean, what do we need to do? And so, also GPO management, they called me, they're concerned as well because, they weren't, fully notified of what happened. They thought it was something that's happening outside of their property, to find out it's inside. It was on their parking. So, there's, if we need to go through an active shooter training or something, revisit all those kind of things, we need to be aware. It's just, we haven't seen, anything, nothing, no press release came out, from GPD, and I was waiting on that because already the media was calling me, about the situation. And so I was able to talk to, Chief Ignacio and, Lieutenant Charters, and they assured me, about what was going on, but I was explaining to them, I need to tell the community, all the residents that live around there, people have anxiety and want to know what's going on, and so, I asked them to please hurry and put out a press release. Give me something that I can shoot out to them, because, they ask me questions, I'm gonna say only what I know. And, so, of course, what I'm hearing from them, and slowly, everything is still under investigation, and we have to respect that. They assured me that they already have, the situation under control. So, don't worry, and pray for whoever needs prayers.
Mayor, again, on behalf of the police department, we apologize for that, and I don't know the details. But, this is on the table now, and it should happen again. And the good part, we need to advise the community, especially to the mayors. In the event stuff like this happens, we have the DDO to tell the community that we have them in custody, nobody else is in know. And we accept that, and thank you for doing that. On the issue that the coverage calling people, that was good again, we did make the arrest. And to the encampment, I just forgot to mention, we had 3 that we dismantled down on the beach side, that they were already building. And we'll be working with this gentleman here and see what we can do also. So, and we just discovered one in the hospital coming off the loop. You turn right towards the GMH. On the right, I just noticed there's a home in there, concrete home. And there's a trail leading to the home, but you can't really see it unless you really take time to look in there. So sometime tomorrow, we're gonna walk in there and see what's going on. Okay.
Another one too, a new one is, Behind Mark Sporting Goods, that's another one.
Sporting goods?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the problem is that they're all over the place. We spend a lot of time every day removal. So hang out in businesses, in front of homes. We get calls every night, many calls just to we remove them, we relocate, like you said, to another place, we go back, same person. So it's a problem. Thank you.
And so going back to the abandoned vehicles, again, that program, where we're supposed to remove abandoned, vehicles, white goods, tires, things like that. We were just informed yesterday at our mayor's council meeting that, it's still, it was under review at the AG's office, it was in the newspaper that is being given out. And again, it's gonna go back to one vendor, which is a great concern for us because we tried that last time and it took forever for them to get to Tumuning. By the time it came to Tumuning, like there's no more funds. So we're very cautious about how they're gonna divvy out, our purchase orders for that with only one vendor. And, the worst that we had to go through with these types of situation is the fiscal year ends September 30th. And sometimes we don't get the purchase order out until July. And then trying to have the vendor come in to give us the service that we need, there's just no time. So that's our worry and concern. But the program is still being talked about, it's still supposed to happen. And, we're just awaiting the purchase orders to start that program again. The other question that we had was about the funding, about, because the fiscal year ends on September 30th, if the money's gonna roll over, can we still continue to do the program after September 30th? They told us that it will roll over, but, again, we don't know what their guidelines are gonna be. Now that we have a new executive director and a new team, down at the mayor's council office, we're awaiting the instruction and procedures on how we're gonna implement all these different programs. Right now, we're just asking that, our residents, work directly with the different, recycling companies that are receiving. We also try to let them know about the service that is offered by Guam Solid Waste, the free program where they can pick up to 5 bulky items a year. So some of them, they're not aware of that. they're customers of solid waste, but, they don't know that part. They're just used to the mayor's office picking it up for them. So again, these are all information that we are working on getting out there to the community. Anything else? Anyone have any questions? Okay. There being none, then we'll go ahead and move along, to old business. As we, just said earlier, the two Serengeti Trust public hearings. Again, we have those two public hearings, because of, not being able to get the evidence that our public hearing last year was, we were floating it live. We were not able to retrieve that from Facebook. Of all the meetings that are on our Facebook Live videos, we'll again go to that avenue because it's a free service, for this unfunded mandate. And so, we have been using Facebook Live. Today now, we have just started using also, our YouTube channel. We were asked to redo the two public hearings, and so we did. And, instead of voting on it today, only because we just had the public hearings, we have to give other people that would like to make their testimony, written testimony, they have up until 10 days to receive, for us to receive it. So we gave a deadline of June 20th by the close of business, 5 p.m. for anyone who would like to, send in their testimony to our municipal planning council. And then, we will schedule, to vote on it at our next municipal planning council meeting scheduled for July. Okay, does anyone have any questions in regards to this application? Okay, there being none, we'll move along now to new business. Any new business? Okay, don't be shy, but, if you are, that's okay then. But you know that you can call on us anytime. If there's any concern you have or anything you would like to address. Yes, go ahead.
Chief Rudy,
Yes.
I thought, you wrote a resolution to GDOE, turning that to, middle school. And then the newspaper, see how it is. But charter school there.
Yes, it was in the newspaper that they are interested in putting it there. That has not been approved, nothing official has gone there. They did, let us know that they are interested in being the ones to take over that building. I don't know where else they're gonna find other venues to house their schools. But nothing is confirmed at this time that I'm aware of. I will continue to follow that and let you all know what's happening. Any other questions? None, okay, then we'll go ahead and move along to committee reports. We'll go ahead and go with, land use. Anything on land use? Not yet, okay. Finance?
Let's mention something on land use. As you recall, approximately 2 months ago, Mr. Perez and I met with EDA and also represented from the legislature to talk about the next step to take with the use of the multi-purpose field. And at that time, the representative from Gita said that they were open to helping Tatuha with one, enabling legislation as well as the mechanics of getting tax incentives for people who donate to the field, and two, helping out with the infrastructure so that we can go ahead and proceed with the renovation of that field. Having said that, as you may recall, I mentioned after that meeting that it's incumbent upon us, and I mean us in the Tahuti sense, to come up with a marketing plan by which we would market the sponsorship package to different people. And as you may recall, I said it's a little bit different than the name escapes me now, but the Hanover Road project, where there was a direct benefit to the people who were on Park Industrial Road, where if they gave, say, $10,000, that they would get an automatic $10,000 tax credit. But the immediate benefit for them is that they were given better access to the facilities. So that was very obvious. It isn't so obvious with what we want to do with the multipurpose park, because, for example, if a business wanted to give us $10,000, or if we were trying to solicit $10,000 for the multipurpose park, there is no direct benefit to the business other than signage. So they would have to really, as a business person, I would call it goodwill, because there's no direct benefit. If I had Heineken, if I put my Heineken sign up there, where's the 10 grand that I'm going to get? It's not really there, it's just goodwill. So we have to come up, as I said before, with a marketing plan to present probably in a multi-tiered structure to various potential sponsors. And then once we present that marketing plan to Gita, they can step in and help us with one, the infrastructure, the infrastructure within Gita to help us implement the sponsorship and tax incentives, and then two, the enabling legislation within the legislature so that we can get the tax incentives. So as you may recall, when we first reported this 2-3 months ago, I'm not quite sure if we're going to use the MPC as an entity, or if there will be an entity created by the mayor's office to spearhead this package. And in my opinion, talking with Greg and the Gita people, Mr. Vaza, this will have to survive, if you want to use that word, the changes because of elections. There has to be something that would be a surviving organization. You know, for example, Mayor Luis becomes governor, and we have someone else here. We'll need to do that, and Greg and I have talked about it. We need to be the instigator of that particular document that we can present to Gita, and then we can go from that point forward. I believe there was one other gentleman who was from Senator Terlahi's office who was also present and said that they would help with the enabling legislation.
In regards to that, we were discussing that at the mayor's council about different memorandum of understandings and agreements in regards to the term of any project or what have you, because even with the grants, for the different grants we're applying for, where it calls for a 5-year plan, and where the grant is up to 5 years, for a certain project. The mayoral term is only a 4-year term. So, like with certain grants that I want to apply for, because it goes to 2000, to 2027, or whatever it is, it has to be within my term. So, because like my term, like I said, is only 4 years, I can't apply for that grant. And so even with putting it under the municipal planning council, your term as a councilman is 2 years. You serve 2 years, so it could change. So that's the issues that we're having now, is trying to determine how that goes. So even with us reporting on the nonprofit side, because what we have used in the past was our nonprofit organization that we had started since I was the vice mayor, was the Tatuha Inc. And so that is what's keeping us afloat on any community projects, helping us pay for supplies and like food and stuff that we need, able to work with the different businesses, using that nonprofit organization. And that's how we've been doing it. And even like the director of revenue and taxation, she came out, she goes, there's only one that's registered. And I'm happy to say it's us, because it was through our nonprofit organization that we were able to get the help from after Typhoon Mawar, for like GTA to give, phones to those who had no communications down south, to be able to help us with, we were paying taxes.
I think, Mayor, there's one critical difference in what you were just asking about and how we were approaching it with Gita. And you're talking about, for example, within your term, the other mayors approaching for grants. But the program that we're looking at with Gita is not a grant. It's actually a tax incentive. And so the concern that GIA has and why it has to survive terms is because some of these tax incentives may last 10 years. So for example, in my previous example, if someone comes in with $10,000, we could extend that tax incentive or tax credit for 10 years, which survives any of us, our terms, your term, etc. And it's sort of a different animal because we're not necessarily trying to raise funds, but we're providing an incentive for people to donate to our project. And this is the main incentive for them to donate, that they will get a tax rebate, well, not rebate, but a tax write-off when they donate. And the critical thing here is that Gita is concerned that it has to be an organization, whether it's the NBC, whether it's from your office, but something that will survive those terms because they're looking at extending it up to 10 years.
Mayor, also, and Dan, we've talked about using other models. So, for example, look at how the soccer field was developed. Now, we understand that a huge international soccer organization came and funded that. But I believe in part of their conditions is that I'm not sure how likely they have to have the competition control of the property. And we understand the government's not going to do that. But we're trying to, find exhaust all efforts to bring this project, to the wing and make it become a reality. The kids need it, we need it, and so we're going to keep trying. We're going to keep it. So if there's ideas out there, please bring it. We can share it and hopefully find a solution. There's a solution out there. We just haven't taken it out. Thank you.
Okay, any question for land use and the Gita tax credits? Okay, we'll move on to legal. Anything? Environmental.
Pretty, said everything there, thank you.
Crime Watch.
I would just like to thank GBD for all the work that they've done with the graffiti, truck, and all the other things, especially with their lack of manpower. Thank you guys.
Thank you, bro. I'm sure you understand you're also here.
Okay, Sunshine.
Well, we just finished celebrating Mother's Day. Happy Father's Day to all of you. And, another addition is that we're having our twin fiesta coming up soon.
Thank you. Okay, and now finance. From the recovery office.
We had, since the last MPC meeting, we had a meeting with the Guam Recovery Office, to iron out exactly, the problems we have with, FEMA and disbursement of funds from Malwar. And as I explained last month, FEMA is basically, I can't remember the term, obligated funds, to Tatuha, but they left the approval process with the Guam Recovery Office. Having said that, we had this meeting to find out exactly what the process was, and apparently we have to submit something to the Guam Recovery Office, and if it goes through their process for approval, they then send it to the Department of Administration for their approval, then it goes to Kim over at Statistics, or BBR, the Bureau of Management, whatever, R. And then it goes back to DOA for them to actually disperse the check. Being a private industry person, it's cyclical. To me, I don't understand it. But when I asked them pointedly, what was the last completed application that they approved and has gone through the process, and when it was dispersed? And the answer to that was 0. The last completed request for reimbursement, and they said it was a beautiful submission, was submitted in February, and they have not had any disbursement since. So I'm guessing, I was kind of joking about it, I said, so what is your turnaround time? A year? Because it's been 2 years since Walmart, and when we initially presented the reimbursement request to FEMA, we were on the cutting edge. I mean, not just among the municipalities, but among all of Guam. Here we are 2 years later, and now we find out there's one village, I won't name it, but it sounds like humanity. They turned it in February, and they haven't received anything. So we'll continue to pursue it. As you may recall in our previous reports, the amount that's been expended so far for the mayor's office repair exceeded what was on the budget that FEMA prepared for that. So we dipped into our NAF funds to complete the project. And sadly, that's apparently the norm for some of the other municipalities, that they're dipping into their non-appropriated funds to complete the repairs. So we'll continue to monitor it. I don't know what's going on with GRO. I know they've been busy with OCD, OCD, Office of Civil Defense. They've been a bit busy over there. Their guys, he's not even there right now. So they've had a couple of things going on, and they've had some inner challenges, to say, with their PMPs and even with personnel. If you take a look at their work chart online, it's 2 years old, so you don't even know who to go to. So we'll continue to keep you updated. Other than that, everything's good.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Secretary Dan? Okay, hearing none, we'll go ahead and open the floor to any members of the public that would like to make a comment.
Well, I just want to bring up that this has been an ongoing problem, this homeless encampment, for at least 2 years now. This isn't new. And, again, as I said, this has been going on for over 2 years. Previously, we had somebody build a two-story, you would say, a shack in front of our house. And the mayor and vice mayor finally got rid of that last year, but now that this, it's really on the private land now, so I don't, I guess we have to take steps to do that. But also, it's the abandoned cars out there, and my wife saw somebody drive up in a gray car, hop out, take off the license plates and run off today, or perhaps. And, that it's really becoming a nuisance. I mean, I feel for them in some respects because, they're trying to live, a place to live, but that piece of property is full of trash and everything else. We really don't want to go back there. GPD been there numerous times. I'm not sure for what. Rosie can find out, but and every once in a while, you're gonna hear the yelling and et cetera from that area at night. And there is, I'm gonna tell you, there's a lot of traffic at night going to that place. So I don't know what's going on there, because there's at least, 100 cars would be saved.
Sometimes it's like, already, we can get out, it's like 7, 9 cars parked in front of our booth.
Yeah, in front of there, and I don't know what's going on back there, but.
Then they like throwing rocks at each other, and then my dad drove it out because it's there.
Yeah, we even had one guy approach our daughter when she came home, started asking her questions like, what's her family name, et cetera, and she gave him something different.
Yeah, ready to have safe.
So, what does your father do, et cetera. So, I mean, it's really an unsafe situation for us. I do see the traffic there tremendous already because lots of people use that as a shortcut going through to the Camp Watkins Road. So, I don't know, anything you guys can think of to help us out here.
Refer you to the but as far as any kind of crime is going on in the area, that's where we come into play. Otherwise, there are multiple agencies that have to deal with this kind of issues. And my main concern is the safety of the neighborhood.
Right.
All right? Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Okay. We'll move along now to announcements. We have our next MCC meeting scheduled for July 10th, 2025. I hope you're all okay with that. That's actually the second Thursday, because July 3rd is the 4th of July weekend, and so, the Mayor's Council has moved, their meeting to July 9th. And again, we always have our meeting scheduled after theirs so that we can bring whatever information they have to give us out to the community. And then St. Anthony Fiesta is scheduled for June 13. It's being celebrated on the weekday, which is Friday. So Friday the 13th. We also have the Micronesian Island Fair that will be held down at Governor Joseph Flores Beach Park, also known as EPAL. That's this weekend. And I guess, does anyone else have any other announcements they'd like to share?
Disney World, or something like Disney Show. Also, that's in July. Some, I forgot the hotel, but it's supposed to be a children.
Okay. Awesome. So when you get that
Mickey Mouse
flyer
will be there.
information,
Mickey Mouse
just
will
share
be
it with us.
Okay, likewise, yeah, whatever flyers we have, we will send it out to all of you.
If y'all want a picture of Mickey Mouse,
Okay, any other announcements?
Okay, there's, on the 4th of July, the Veterans Forum Wars will be celebrating out at the Eagle Beach Park again. They do that every 4th of July. The only difference that they're gonna have this 4th of July down at Eagle is that there's nobody flying in on a parachute, just like in the past, where we had an individual paratrooper coming. But for this year, we won't have. The reason for that is the individual that does the jumping and the flying in has medical issues with his family. So they won't be able to perform that this year. But as far as the festival is concerned, they're still gonna have a festival down the Eagle Beach Park for the veterans or any other guests. Everybody is welcome to that. You don't even have to be a veteran. So everybody's welcome to it. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor. Okay, and there's no other announcements? There's a motion to adjourn the meeting by Tony Chafras, second by Mike Basisti. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Goodbye, thank you very much. Meeting at 7:30.